We got 4-division champion Terence Crawford in the house, undisputed at 140, undisputed at 147, current 154-pound WBA title holder. Terence, but you're going after undisputed at super middleweight. You're kind of waiting to see how the landscape is going to shift out right now with Canelo and his fight coming up May 3 against William Skull. It sounds like you're not going to take a fight until September, when this super fight is finally going to come to fruition. But first things first, how's life treating you? How is everything going? And what are the latest updates you can share about what Terence Bud Crawford's been up to since winning the title against Israel Madrimov?
Well, life is great. You know, I've been able to spend more time with my family and get a lot done back at home. I'm just enjoying life right now. I'm excited for Canelo's upcoming fight. I hope he be successful and becoming another two-time undisputed like myself in a way. And hopefully we can get that fight in September.
How has life been like with you, just watching the kids grow up? I know your kids are active in wrestling and sports, and you know, a lot of people say, oh, Terence is not active, he's only fighting once a year, but you know, you're making great money, you're in meaningful fights, and you're enjoying your family at the same time, and still giving the boxing public the fights they want to see. So how are you making everything still work for you?
Oh man, listen, it's great. It's great. You know, I understand that they want me to fight more, but you know, it's not their life. You know, it just tells me that they all fans and that they appreciate my skills. Even the ones that say they don't, you know, that they don't like my style, or they watch. You know, so everybody want to see Terence Crawford. Everybody want to see Terence Crawford be more active. But you know, it is what it is. It's God time, not mine.
When you and I last met last summer, when you were here in Los Angeles promoting the Israel Madrimov fight, which took place at the BMO Stadium, of course, we saw Eminem put out a concert right before your ring walk, electric atmosphere. You finally got your flowers, right? I felt like after all the years of hard work, not getting the fights that you wanted, you beat Spence in a convincing fashion, and then you went and became a 4-division title holder. What has this entire last 2 years been like with Turki Al-Sheikh also embracing you, making sure you get the legacy-defining fights that you've been seeking? How would you describe just finally getting your flowers?
Oh man, it's just, we as people, we always want things when we want it. But when it's time, that's when God let the light shine on you. You know, so I just bought my time and just stayed, you know, patient and stay active as possible and just kept winning, you know, and I still got a lot of doubters. I still got a lot of hate, but at the same time, I'm getting my just due, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I feel like some of that hate, you feel like everyone's like, oh, you beat maybe a diminished version of Spence after the accident, all the alcohol, this, that. I feel like a lot of people have pointed to other things outside of the dominant performance that the world saw that day, and it kind of, unfortunately, it's been in like a storyline of your career, right? No one wants to give you the credit you rightfully deserve because the accomplishments have come along the way, and you still have these haters. Why is that?
Well, you know, haters is like everybody else. They undercover fans. You know, everybody have their significant fighters that they gravitate to, and that's who they want to win. And when they don't win, they got to look for an excuse why they didn't win. You know, I wanted to fight Spence, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, all those top welterweights when I moved in the division. And
Porter, Ugas, there was a lot of them.
Well, I wouldn't say Porter because that wasn't somebody that I was searching for at the time. You know, Ugas wasn't the champion either, but
right.
Once Ugas became champion, he was definitely a fighter that I wanted to fight. But all these other fighters, you know, they all had excuses that I haven't fought in the welterweight division yet. I wasn't proven. So once I did get my hands on him, then it was, oh, I got him here late. I got him bruised up, or, you know, Sean Porter was one leg in, one leg out, and Kell Brook was already battered, you know. So it was just always an excuse. But prior to these fights, these was individuals that the whole certain boxing groups thought was going to beat me.
And now you're going up against what could perhaps be one of the most insurmountable tasks. People are saying you're biting off more than you can chew. Now again, there's doubts being thrown out there, but you're as confident as ever. You've said skill for skill, you match against Alvarez, and you could take the power and deliver it too. The more you think about this fight, how do you envision it going?
Well, listen, I've been doubted my whole career. If you ask anybody that's been following me, they'll all tell you, oh, we didn't, you know, by the media and by all the negative things that people said about Terence Crawford along the way, they would have never thought I'd be in this place that I am now. But I did. So it's funny to say, because I've been hearing this my whole career, that I'm too small for this guy. This guy's too strong. Or this guy punches too hard. I don't got no chin. Or I'm this, I'm that. You know, so I just suck it all in and just laugh, because those fighters and those people that have this negative thought of Terence Crawford never been in the ring before. So it don't even bother me. Me and Canelo is gonna be a tough fight for both of us, you know. But at the same time, I don't know. Like I always say, I say the same thing every time somebody asks me. Like when they ask me about the Spence fight, do I think that's gonna be the toughest fight of my career? And I said, I don't know. I ain't never been in the ring with Spence. I never sparred him, never been in the ring, never felt his punching power, no nothing. So I can't give you a blind judgment on if I think that's going to be the toughest fight in my career. Just like with Canelo Alvarez. We all know Canelo is great. We all know he's big. We all know he's strong. He got good timing. He got good punching power. He moves his head well. He's a good counter puncher. We all know all that things about Canelo, you know, but we never seen Terence Crawford at 168. So we don't know. We don't know if Terence Crawford can take his punch power. We don't know if Canelo going to be able to box, you know, toe for toe with Terence. We don't know if Canelo's going to be able to push him around. We think we know Canelo's going to be able to walk him down because he's been in the weight class longer than Crawford. But in reality, we don't know. You know, that's why two fighters fight. You know, so I'm just excited to be in a position to have the opportunity to be in the ring with another all-time great, and it's going to be an exciting fight, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to winning.
It's an incredible, like, you make these kind of fantasy fights on paper, it used to be, and now the floodgates have opened with literally any fight can be made if it makes sense. And this fight could arguably define who's the best fighter in the post-Floyd Mayweather generation, the best fighter of the last 15 years. Canelo's been there with a lot of incredible opponents. He's lasted 36 rounds with Triple G. He's taken the power of light heavyweights of Dmitry Bivol, Sergey Kovalev. How do you think you're going to stop Canelo Alvarez?
I don't got to stop him. I just got to beat him. I'm not going in there looking to knock Canelo out. Could it happen? Yes, absolutely. You know, when I look at Canelo, he's a smaller, bigger guy moving up in divisions. You know, being that these big guys are slower, so they might catch him with something, but he might see it at the last moment. You know, they might catch him with a hard shot, but he's able to roll and turn with it. You know, because he's coming from a smaller weight class that was faster, that was sharper. You know, I'm coming from a smaller weight class that's faster and sharper. So he get hit with a sharp punch that he don't see, he's definitely capable of getting hurt. He's not a machine. He's human just like me. He bleeds just like me. So I'm not going in there thinking, oh, I can't hurt this guy. But I'm not going in there at the same time. I'm trying to knock him out. I'm trying to, fight my fight. And if the knockout is there, then of course I'm going to take it.
And arguably, speed leads to the power as well too, and the punches you don't see are the ones that hurt the most. He hasn't fought anyone as fleet-footed as you, as savvy as you. You're still very well in the prime of your career. Do you feel Canelo is still in the prime of his career, considering the sample size of his last few fights?
I think Canelo's been, holding back a lot in his last couple of fights. I don't think that Canelo's really been as excited to get up for those fights that he's been getting up on. I think he held Miguel up. I think he could have did more damage, but the respect that he had for Miguel, he just, really too much didn't want to hurt the kid. I think with Berlanga, it was what it was. He showed a dominant performance against Berlanga, and he just felt like he didn't have to do too much of nothing, and so with Charlo was moving a lot, he won every round, so he really didn't feel the need to go in there and try to just maul him down. But I think, with me, he's going to be the best Canelo that we've seen yet.
He has to rise to the occasion, right? There's conversations about this being at the Raiders Stadium, so you're talking about 70,000 people perhaps if they do end up taking that route of it being on a football stadium. The anticipation, though, what is that like? You posted a picture, 186 pounds. You're closer to heavyweight than you are to super middleweight, but how has the preparation been like? You got Steven Nelson, who could give you some heavy hands if you want to really taste the power, but how has that been like for you, just preparing for the artillery that could be coming from Canelo?
Man, I've been sparring big dudes my whole career. I can't remember the last times that I done went in a whole training camp sparring guys my size or smaller for a whole period of time. So I'm used to sparring these big guys. So it's nothing new to me.
What has that also been like for you to get this fight? You've been asking for it the last year and a half, 2 years. Canelo was like, yes, no, maybe, no. He's always obviously never given a definitive answer. But you, Turkey, and Canelo finally had a conversation. You hashed things out. What was that like with the three of you making this deal together?
Man, listen, the fights that's meant to happen happens. I don't get all up into, how it happened. It's the fact that it happened, and it's a challenge for both of us. A lot of people, they mad that I got the opportunity. They don't want to see me with the opportunity for their own personal reasons. But like I said, everything that's meant for me to happen will happen.
And he's running out of opponents, right? He's wiped out 168 pounds. It was either David Benavidez, a rematch against Bivol, or you. And you are a super fight. And
I'm the biggest fight.
And arguably the biggest too, because it sparks another conversation that previously was never being had, right? And how do you think this fight will impact your legacy in boxing history when it's all said and done if you beat Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when. When I beat Canelo Alvarez, I think I'm going to be, top 3, pound for pound, best fighters ever. I think Canelo is up there with the all-time greats too. I already look at myself as an all-time great, but to move up essentially 3 weight classes, and dethrone soon to be undisputed 168 champion without even stepping foot in that weight class or the weight class below is like some Henry Armstrong stuff. It's gonna be amazing. Like they always say, you never see a great small guy beat a great big guy, and I want to change that narrative.
You mentioned top three. We got to find out who's the other two who you think are going to be on that list for you.
I think Sugar Ray Robinson and Ali. I think those two is, you know, stamp. You know, Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson, I don't think them spots will ever be taken.
And then once you reach that mountaintop, what do you do from there? It's after Canelo, where do you go, right? It's
who knows? You know, maybe we rematch. You know, maybe, you know, I'll fight somebody else. Who knows? You know, but at the time, right now, I'm just focused on, you know, him right now. Get my mind, my body right, and just basically mentally preparing myself for everything that I have to do to secure a victory.
And of course, you still have that 154-pound title. If there is an opportunity for you to go clean up 154 in one fight, let's say either Fundur or Murtazaliev, they got the other three belts all of a sudden, is that a fight you would want as well too, to be an undisputed?
Them options. You know, to become a 4-weight undisputed, that's crazy. You know. So of course them options as well. You know, we gotta weigh it out and just see what, you know, happens after this fight.
You've mentioned 154. It doesn't give you the legacy-defining fights that you're seeking for right now. And you know, Fundur and Murtazaliev, they're not household names, but they are strong fighters. Out of your, who do you see as the best 154-pounder outside of yourself right now? Is it Fundura? Is it Murtazaliev?
I don't know. It's a lot of great fighters out there. You know, I don't want to disrespect none of the fighters just by saying one or two is the top fighters in the division. If they ever fought, you know, the winner would be the best out of them two, because styles make fights, and who knows, maybe a possible, you know, showdown between Terence Crawford and the winner.
Absolutely, and Turki Al-Sheikh has mentioned Virgil Ortiz as a long-desired opponent for you. 154 pounds is really hot right now, but do you see yourself just going back down to that weight after you're bulking up? We got to ask now, how much do you weigh now?
I weigh 140. I don't know, you know, like I said, if the opportunity presents itself and, you know, it's a great opportunity for me in my career, then, you know, we will do what we have to do to make that fight with the winner, if there was a winner or if there wasn't a winner. But right now, like I said, we just focus on one individual right now, and that's Canelo.
And from what I'm gathering, it sounds like there's still some career left for you at 37. You're not thinking this is your last fight. You're going to get a major payday and off to the sunset you go. You still have challenges for yourself, it sounds like, with or without Canelo after this.
Well, we'll see. You know, like, I'm going to leave the door open. You know, I'm not going to shut the door on a possible opportunity. But as for now, you know, my focus is clearly on Canelo and only Canelo. So none of the other fights excite me. None of the other fights do anything for my career. If I beat, you know, Fundora, Ortiz, Murtaza, Zaya, I'm supposed to beat those guys. You know, so that doesn't do anything for my career. You know, but me fighting Canelo, I don't supposed to beat Canelo in a lot of people's eyes. So that's something that's a career-defining fight. That's a legacy fight, and that's the biggest fight in boxing at this time.
Who would you say is, looking at Canelo's career of what he's accomplished, what would you say is his best win on his resume?
All of them.
At this point. Oh, have you been a fan of Canelo throughout the years?
I've been a fan of Canelo for years. You know, I just look at all of his fights is great, because without one, there wouldn't be the other. You know, each fight is defining, you know, to take you to the next level. Each champion is a challenge to take you to the next level. So, you know, I'm not gonna dismiss no fighter that he ever fought, because all of them has placed him in a position that he in right now, and that's the face of boxing.
And we know these super cards that we've been seeing, they're stacked. I mean, I'm sure there's no co-main event yet, but can we say Shakur is the co-main event on your night? Could we see him against Tank? Could we see Keyshawn Davis on the same card? What's the undercard going to look like?
I don't know. It's going to be crazy. It should be crazy. You know, Crawford and Canelo. I'm pretty sure.
Shakur and Tank?
Yeah, that would be dope. That would be dope. But you know,
I think that's the day the sports world stops, right?
Yeah.
If we get a super card of that caliber.
If Tank was not so cocky to be on a Terence Crawford undercard, that would be dope. But I don't see Tank taking a backseat to no fighter, because he'll think it's the Tank show. So I don't know, but it should be a good undercard.
I know you two had a back and forth not too long ago. Would you say that's squashed, or is there still some animosity between what was said between both sides with you and Tank?
Man, ain't nothing to say about it. I already said what I had to say about it.
And you think Shakur handles his business in the ring? How does Shakur beat Tank?
Just being Shakur. I don't think, you know, those guys can match what Shakur brings to the table. Shakur and Keyshawn is the two best in the division, hands down.
And it's the month of March right now. This fight's going to be in September. We're talking another 4 or 5 months of preparation. What's life going to look like for you from here until hopefully this fight against Canelo is announced and you go into preparation mode? Take us through what the next few months are looking like for you.
Just training. That's it. Just training. I don't know. Just focus on one fighter. Just training. You know, getting my body right, getting used to the weight, getting used to, you know, size, getting stronger, and just training.
Final prediction. How does the fight with Canelo end?
A victory in Terence Crawford's favor. Come on, man. I'm the best.